All right, guys, we are going to add to our notebooks again. And like I said before, we do have to add a little bit more here. So we're going to talk about scatter plots and lines of best fit. And that's going to be on 65 and 66. I'm so sorry. I went too far, or I didn't have a line for that one. Oops. Okay, so we turn to 65 and 66. And guys, I think if I'm remembering correctly in our packet, it should be 18 and 19, maybe 19 and 20. I'll put it in the description of this video. But we're going to actually start in 65. So we need to remind ourselves of a few things. If I'm given the slope of a line and just an ordered pair, let me get a different color. Normally, what I like to do is put it into point slope form. This has us doing it a different way that I don't love, but I will show you. So if we take a look at that one, if they give me the slope and a point, I really prefer to put it in point slope form, which is that y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. So for example, there we go. On this first one here, I would do y minus 1, because this is x this way, equals 4 parenthesis x minus 3. And then to get it into y equals mx plus b, we just do two things. We distribute. So 4x minus 12. And then we get y alone by adding 1. I think that that is so quick and easy. But there is another way to do it, which I will show you. Because some people like the other way too. So a different way of doing it, if they give me the slope and a point, is to put it into y equals mx plus b right now. So the thing is, I know m, they told it to me. And because this is x and this is y, in place of y, I can put 1. And in place of x, I can put 0, or whatever x is. I don't know b, so I still leave it. But since I filled in all the other letters, I can solve for b. So to do that, I would multiply right here, and 3 times 0 is 0. And then I would get b alone. Now in this case, like it kind of is, because 0 is nothing, but like I would subtract this or add it. And 1 minus 0 is 1, so b is 1. Then once I know b, I can write it as y equals 3x plus 1, where I fill everything in. So I'll do it again where I do one of each, and then you guys can really decide which one you like better. So if they give me the slope and a point, I prefer to put it in point slope form. So y minus y equals m parenthesis x minus x. And in this case, we would distribute. And then negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And then get y alone by adding 5. So y equals negative 2x plus 7. And I like that way because it's super straightforward. Like you just put everything in, distribute, and get y alone. The other way of doing it is a little bit less, I think, because I go to y equals mx plus b, and I fill everything in, and then I have to go back to y equals mx plus b. And I think some people forget to do the go back to y equals mx plus b part. But I'll just show you again. So we'd have 2 equals negative 1 times 2. I would multiply here, so negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And then I'd get b alone by getting that 2 out of there. And then I'd have to rewrite it now. Y equals negative 1x plus 4. So whichever way you think is best. On these last ones here, I'm going to do y minus y equals m parenthesis x minus -2, so plus. And 1 times anything is just that thing, so I really don't need the 1 or the parentheses. And then I'd add the 7 over to get y alone. So we'd have y equals x plus 9. And then on this last one here, we'd have y minus y, which will make it a plus, equals 0 times x minus x. And 0 times anything is 0. And then I'd want to get y alone. So we'd have y equals -3. Okay? Now, the other thing that could happen is maybe I'm less lucky and they don't give me the slope. They just give me 2 ordered pairs. And if they just give me 2 ordered pairs, I'm first going to have to find the slope. So we can find the slope by doing our slope formula. Y minus y over x minus x. And then take your slope and put it into y minus y, like the point slope form. Or you can do the other way if you are preferring that. So looking at this one here, write the equation of a line that goes through the 2 points. The first thing we have to do is find slope by doing y minus y over x minus x. So xy, xy. I could do 1 minus -4, and that would work out really nice because it'll be a double negative. So 1 minus -4 will make it a plus. But then I got to do 3 minus 2. But that actually works out really good too. So 5 over 1, which means my slope is 5. And then you pick a point, either one. I'm going to go with the one that has no negatives and put it in point slope form. So y minus y equals m, parenthesis x minus x. Distribute, and then get y alone. Or again, if you were liking this other way where you put it into y equals mx plus b, found b, and then put it back into y equals mx plus b, you could do it that way. Okay. On this next one, gotta find slope. So we'll do y minus y over x minus x. So again, I think I want to do 5 minus -1 because it'll get me a plus. And then 1 minus -1, so 6 over 2, which is a slope of 3. And then I'm going to go with the -1, -1. Seems kind of weird, but they're ones. I like ones. And also, Jeremiah one time told me that if I pick negatives, it'll make it positive when I put it into my point slope form because the signs always change. So we'll have y plus 1 equals 3 parenthesis x plus 1, and then distribute, and then get y alone. So y equals 3x plus 2. Now you may be thinking like, girl, why are we doing this? We already did this, and I agree. But this is going to help us to talk about scatter plots, which we're going to get to in just a second. So let's try this last one up. Find that slope first, y minus y over x minus x. So again, I think I'm going to go backwards, 7 minus -3 to make it a plus. And then -1 minus 4. So we'll have 10 over -5, which is -2. Then I got to put it in y minus y equals m parenthesis x minus x, where we're always replacing second x and y, but leaving the first. So I'm going to go with the -1, 7, just because it's got a 1 in it. They both have negatives. So y minus the y value, so 7, equals -2, parenthesis x minus -1, so plus. Then we'll distribute, and then we'll get y alone. We have y equals -2x plus 5. Okay, so we needed that reminder there because when I'm doing a scatter plot, we are looking at a bunch of dots just on a line, okay? And we're going to want to figure out what's called the line of best fit. So the line that I can draw that gets as close to the points that are on there as I can. Now I'm not going to be able to like get next to all of them or get on all of them, but we can try the best we can. So dots that look like this kind of all look like they're going in an upward direction. So we say that that has positive correlation. And really that just means it's going to have like positive slope. So as the x values increase, the y values also increase. Versus something that looks like this one down here, looks like it has negative slope. So when you have negative slope, you have what's called negative correlation. And as the x values are increasing, and I should always think about my x values increasing because I always read my graph from left to right. Okay, so x values are increasing, increasing. This time the y values are going down, so decrease. But you could also be looking at a scatter plot that is just totally scattered. Like this isn't trending down or trending up. So this has no correlation, which means as the x values increase, the y values increase and decrease. So they're not doing anything specific, which is kind of a bummer. Okay. So for instance, if we try this positive correlation one, if we want to find the line of best fit, we could maybe take a straight edge and like try to draw out a line that's going to get as close as we can to as many points as we can. Like this wouldn't be super good because it's like towards the bottom. So I kind of want to like scooch it up, maybe something more like that. Because that gets pretty close to all the points. And then if I want to write the equation of the line, I need to pick 2 points that ended up on my line. So this one's pretty good right here, which if you see, we're counting by thousands. So right in between would be 500. And these are counting by 4. So right in between would be 2. And then I also really went through this point here, which it's not quite 3. Well, it's not quite 3,500, but I'm going to go with it. Like it's pretty close. So 3,000. And this is all an approximation anyway. And then all the way up here, like it's almost to 14. So I'm just going to go with it. Okay. So when I have my 2 points, the first thing I got to do is find slope. So y minus y over x minus x. So I'll do 14 minus 2. And then 3,500 minus 500, which will be 12 over 3,000, which can definitely reduce. Like 2 will go in. So like I should probably do that. 2 goes into that 6 times and into that 1,500 times. Oh my gosh, I could do 2 again. I'm going to keep going. So 3, divide that in half. That'd be 750, right? I think 3 goes into 750. Yeah, because it's like 3/4. So 1 over 250. That was a lot of reducing. And then I just have to put it in y equals mx plus b, but really to do that, we want to start off in point slope form. So y minus y equals m parentheses x minus x, where I can pick either point. Now I'm going to go with this one because it's smaller and because I was definitely through it. So y minus 2 equals 1 over 250, parentheses x minus x, which is 500. Now we could rewrite it and put it in y equals mx plus b, but we'll just leave it there for now. I ran out of space. That's fine. Okay, let's try another one. This one will fully finish. So negative correlation. Again, I want to try to approximate and get as close to as many points as I can. So I feel pretty good about that line. And then I went through this point here, which is at 20, 14. And then also I feel really good about that one. That's at 100, 4. Okay, so if we find our slope first, I would do 14 minus 4 over 20 minus 100. So 10 over negative 80, which is going to reduce to negative 1/8, and it should have that negative slope because it is going down, much like this one should have had a positive slope because it's going up. Okay, so secondly, we're going to put it in point slope form, and then this time we'll fully rewrite it. So I'm going to go with the smaller point again, the 20 comma 14. So y minus y, which is 14, equals m, which is negative 1/8, parenthesis x minus x, which is 20. Then I'll distribute. And guys, it's always good to put it in y equals mx plus b, because if I pick this point but somebody else picks a different point, it kind of looks like we got wrong answers, but they always come back to y equals mx plus b is the same. And then a negative times a negative will be a positive, and then 1 times 20 is 20 divided by 8 can reduce, like 4 will go into both, 5 times on top and 2 times on bottom. Then I'm going to want to add the 14 to its like term right here. So we'll have y equals negative 1/8 x. Now the 14 I can't add to the 5 over 2 right now, but if I rewrite it as 28 over 2, which is still 14, but now it's over 2, I can add those. So I'd keep my denominator 2, and we do 28 plus 5, which is 33. If you change it to a decimal, I kind of don't blame you. It would be 16.5. Okay, last one. Well, there's no correlation, so there's no real reason to write a line of best fit. So we're just going to put no. I mean, they don't follow a trend. They don't follow a pattern, so I shouldn't make one up. So there you go.